Hola Booktube, Emilio Suarez here again, and this is my second um, video on the series that I'm making. Let's talk about, where I talk about the last book I read, and it's kind of a review, but at the same time, it's not. I mean, so I'm gonna be giving a lot of spoilers because I'm gonna be talking about specific things in the story, plot points, and all of that. And what I like to do uh, trying to do things a little bit different because I like to do it that way. It's talking about aspects of how the narration goes and why I think what I think was better or I didn't like very much, and what we used to do when we create stories. So I'm a screenwriter. If you're watching me for the first time, so my approach is not that my approach is like it was a movie, but um, what I like to talk about is what I have learned in my screenwriting uh, when I was studying screenwriting, and things that I kind of observe in stories. So maybe it's kind of a different point of view of just looking at literature as literature, you know. Um, and the last book I read was War of the Worlds uh, by H.G. Wells. I read the Spanish version, La Guerra de los Mundos. I'm just saying it in Spanish in case you want to practice your Spanish, you know. And what can I say about it? First, I'm not ashamed to say this is the first time that I've read this book, so don't be ashamed of that. Um, I liked the book. I liked the story, and it's kind of difficult because if you haven't read this or watched the Tom Cruise movie or the movie that was before this one or the series or anything, the only thing I have seen it's the Tom Cruise movie, the Spielberg movie. Um, it's gonna be like, yeah, I know what's going to happen because I've seen like bunch of movies or I've read lots of stories about alien invasion and all of that. And yes, it's not like because this was one of the first stories about alien invasion, but this is what I like about the movie. The I'm sorry, about the book. First, um, the narrator, who's also the protagonist, tells the story as a past thing, not as a present thing, because he uh, starts talking to you like this. In the last chapter, I said this, but I'm gonna tell you about this a little bit more further. So that's kind of one of the things that I like the most because of this. There's parts where his brother is kind of in the action, so he tells you, the audience, like what his brother was doing, and because his brother told him. So I really like that because it didn't break the, for me, of course, didn't break that wall of talking to the audience, getting away from the story, because talking to you as an audience was part of the story. So you already know he's going to be alive, um, and he's just telling you some information about something that happened because he wrote about this, and this is what he wrote. I mean, we have seen a lot of books. For example, one of my favorite books, Waking Gods. It's kind of that way, except that what we are reading are transcripts or emails. It's like the book Gemina. I haven't read that book because I start reading it, um, and I couldn't read it. It's not my kind of gimmick. Um, for me, it was messy to see all of those things, and I didn't know what to look for and what not. Now, books like Waking Gods. It's waking or walking? Waking Gods. Um, it's interesting because you're like reading files, like you are discovering things that happen, and it's kind of cool, but at the same time it's not, because of this. You didn't went anywhere to look for those transcripts, for those very important things that are supposed to be secret. So everything they're giving you everything in the book, like a big folder. This is all secrets. Now this is something that everybody, that's the way I'm seeing it, everybody saw, everybody was there in London when this happened, when the aliens came here, the Martians came here, and we there's like no secret. There's just experiences from one guy who wrote what he saw. So it's like here reading a kind of a history memoir book, which was different from looking at top secret papers. You know, it's kind of another way of, I don't know, telling a story, which I really liked. I love Waking Gods, but I love the story Waking Gods. I liked the story of this one and how it was presented to me. Um, Another thing I like very much, the first book, the second book, in some way is kind of repetitive. The events that happen, but I like it because even when I was reading it, I was saying like, yes, this start happening kind of the same thing. It's not the same, but it looks like it. I wanted to keep on going and see what else is going to happen because of the protagonist. The protagonist is kind of a normal guy in this situation. He doesn't know what to do, and things are start happening around him. And what I liked also, it's the descriptions. The descriptions. We don't spend 8 pages talking about when he saw the first leg of the Martian machine coming down, and he was thinking about his wife and the day he met her, and when he was a baby or something. And no, those are things that were happening fast. He thought about his wife. Could his wife be dead? He doesn't know anything about her, and he just kept on going. And sometimes he really, really believed he was going to die. Of course, we know he don't die, but it's not about if he's going to die or not. It's about his feelings in that moment. It's like Toy Story. Who hasn't what? Who hasn't watched Toy Story? Toy Story 3. Spoilers, whatever. Um, there's a moment where they're all in that garbage thing. They're gonna be burned, and you know they're not going to die. They're not going to die. But that's not the important thing about the storytelling part. That storytelling part, it's so you as an audience can see the desperation, the how they felt, thinking that they were going to die. That's what puts pressure on the characters. That's why we watching that we're supposed to give to people pressure to the characters, so you can see the real character in the character characters. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. If you don't understand, just put all the questions that you have down below, and I'll try to answer everything in the best, easiest way. I know my ability to speak in English also is a little bit tricky, but we can talk about. That's what the series about. Let's talk about. Now, I like the first book because of the chaos that was there. It was like an organized chaos, not chaos only because the Martians were killing people and all of that, but the chaos about the narration. Like, oh my God, I was running and this happened and that guy just died over here, and I was here. Oh my God, I'm going to. It, things were happening so fast that it was chaotic. but it was organized, and I like that aspect also. It's kind of funny because right now in our era, we have internet, we have cell phones, we have everything, and if something happens in the other side of the world, we know about that like 5 seconds before it happens. In this time in the Victorian era, there were of course nothing like that, and it's kind of funny because of our way of living. It's kind of funny seeing that Martians are attacking with giant machines, and in the other side, I don't know how far it is, so I've never been there, but it's still because in the other side, people are living happy, like nothing happened, and there's a couple of persons who get there. Oh my God, there are machines, there are Martians coming, and people, it's like you're joking, or they just get interested and they want to see the Martians, and that kind of things happen. I mean, not everybody just starts running. Just people start running, but people, we are curious. Maybe it's us Puerto Ricans that when we see like a hurricane, instead of being in the bathroom or something, we're just at the window looking at it. Sort of, whoa, look at that piece of zinc going flying around, and look at that car flying. We're like that. And I think there's a lot of people who is like that. That's training and I have to go to work. Anyway, the second book, it was kind of more intimate in the feelings of the character, because the character was start losing it, and there were a lot of interesting things about how life could be after the Martians do their thing. And um, I don't know. I think it was great fun. Uh, yes, this is a trend. Every time you do a video, sneeze. That's a trend. The new trend, at least in my channel. Um, so I don't know. I really enjoy the book. I it took me like 2 weeks to read it, because as I have said before, I'm a very very slow reader. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about the movie. Um, uh, Near the book. Here's the thing. I didn't like the movie that much. The movie is just an action piece and a sci-fi action piece with Tom Cruise and his daughter in the cover, and his son that is there. Spoilers also. And when I was reading this book, when I was like half of it, I remember I had the movie, so I said like I want to see the movie, because the only thing I remembered is Tom Cruise running, who's not kind of new, and people kind of exploding, getting burned by the heat ray, and that's the only thing kind of I remember. So I saw it and I was like, yeah, it's fun, but eh. Now it has. I think this is the best. I haven't seen the others, but I think seeing this one, it's the best interpretation of the book. But in the book he doesn't have any family except his wife. He doesn't have a daughter, and in the movie he's divorced to the. That doesn't matter. Don't be such whiny people. The things that happen here happen here. The Martians came, and they don't say they're Martians, because saying today that Martians are coming, it's kind of funny. It has become like a trend of funny things. Yes, that like some Martian kind of a racist thing. It doesn't matter from what planet he comes from. They're all Martians. But in this one, it was a new thing. So they don't say here they're Martians, but they come the monster, the robotic monsters that were destroying everybody. It's very close to the book. What happens? The thing with the when they abduct people and eat the people and start growing that red uh, herbs around and all of that has all the things, and they die in the same way that they die in the book. So it has what it has to have. Now, here's the problem, and I'm gonna be talking about um, storytelling things. When you want to like change something, like change the medium, uh, like doing a book versus doing a movie. Um, they did the movie in present day, and that automatically puts you in a situation where you have to do things to put it as close as you can as the source material. Because in the present day we have cell phones, we have a lot of, well, we have airplanes and all of that. Now, what they did, they put the EMP thing, the electromagnetic pulse, that just shut down everything that was electric, cell phones, watches, cars, except one car. And so they could like put it in the same position as they were. Now, what I think it the problem with the movie in comparison to the book, not the problem with the movie because the movie was I like it or I didn't like it, or I'm not talking about that. I'm talking in comparison with the story of the book. It's that the Martians, the machines, the big machines were already here on Earth before there were humans. Here, they come and construct the things here on Earth for the first time. So I like this version more than this one. Why? Because it makes the Martians stupid. Simple as that. I mean, you have it makes you ask questions like how nobody ever found a thing on Earth. I mean, they have to build trains. They have to do things. Maybe it was very close to the center of the Earth. I don't know, but I don't think so. I don't think so because the way the machine, the first machine, comes up in the middle of the town, it doesn't look like it was very far away down below. So that brings a hell of a problem. Second, why the Martians put those machines here like lots of time ago? Why? Here, when they come because probably, as the narrator says, their planet is dying, so they're looking for another place to live. But here, here, there's no explanation at all. It's not like I need an explanation because they, in stories, they don't have to give you everything in a silver plate, but they have to give you enough information so you can make your own things in your head. And they don't give me anything. The other thing, they just come here and they get inside their machines and start killing people. Why they come now? They didn't came the long time ago because they were waiting for the human race to evolve and the plants evolved and all of that evolved. So when it was ready, they come. Probably that's one of the ideas behind it. But couldn't the machines like send something over there, like information about the bacteria that kills them? They didn't know that here because they came here blind. Here they here they have information. They don't say they have the information. They could have. I mean, I don't know. They came from another planet. They came from Mars or from whichever planet. And they have lots of technology. So why they couldn't do that? They know when to come here. So something was sending them, or they were watching from whatever the place they were, information about our planet. So that's what doesn't work with this. I kind of understand why they do it in present day because it's cheaper. That's it. You don't have to build a lot of things. Yes, you have to build sets. You have to get the clothing, the wardrobe, and all of that. But you don't have to construct an entire city like in the 1898 era, and you don't need to the writing style. It's different because you have to change the language a little bit. You have to do it in London, and you need a lot of permits and that. Yes, Steven Spielberg, he could do it, but I think, well, it doesn't matter if it was Steven Spielberg or not because somebody wrote it. And Steven Spielberg saw it, and maybe he did changes, maybe he didn't. I don't know. But um, I'm freezing again here. Let's see. Okay, now we're set. We're at 21 minutes. I have to hurry up. Um, what he wanted to do was just telling the story in a way that a lot of people can come here and go to the movies and watch it and feel maybe a little bit more, I don't know, they can identify more with the characters because they were on a present day. But it doesn't matter because I read this and I identify with the character. So I would love to see a movie set in the time of the book. Let's make a remake. Let's do it. So I know I didn't talk a lot about the book, more about the movie, but what I was trying to argue here is when you change medium and the reasons why. I don't think every book is always better than the movie. No, I don't think every book. I think books, yes, some of them are good, better than the movie, but not always. I'm not that kind of person that says the book is always better because it's just a book and you read it. Like, not necessarily. So that's it. That's all I have to say about War of the Worlds. If you want to do a video about it, and I don't know, tag me on the video so I can watch it, or you want to comment here, you want to talk about it, let's do it. So if you want to see the first video that I did about this series, you can click right here, or if you can see the last video I did right here. So thank you very much, and I'll see you later, BookTube. Gracias.